You've seen the symbol before. An eye, elegant, curved, ancient. It's painted on tomb walls, carved into amulets, tattooed on skin, and yet few truly understand what it means. This is the Eye of Horus. But what if this sacred eye was more than a symbol? What if it was a map of the human brain? A coded diagram passed down from ancient priests. A blueprint not just of sight, but of consciousness itself. Let's decode one of Egypt's most sacred secrets. The myth is simple. On the surface, Horus, the falcon-headed sky god, fights his uncle Set, the god of chaos, to avenge his father Osiris. In the battle, Horus loses his left eye. It is later restored by Thoth, the god of wisdom. But Egyptian myth is never just story. It's layered, encoded. The left eye of Horus represents intuition, moon energy, and inner vision, while the right eye symbolizes sunlight, logic, and external perception. Together, they represent balance. But the left eye of Horus, the one lost and restored, has become the focus of intense modern interest. Why? Because when overlaid on a cross-section of the human brain, the Eye of Horus lines up perfectly with critical neurological structures. Structures responsible for consciousness, emotion, intuition, and spiritual perception. Let's break it down. The Eye of Horus consists of 6 parts, each with symbolic and mathematical meaning. In ancient Egypt, these 6 parts were also fractions: 1/2, 1/4, 1/18, 1/116, 1/1232, and 1/164. When added, they almost make 1, but not quite. The missing 164, the magical essence, the invisible. Some believe this is the quantum gap, the soul. Now, here's where it gets extraordinary. Each of those 6 parts corresponds to a specific region of the brain. The teardrop curve resembles the corpus callosum, the bridge between the brain's hemispheres. The brow line overlays the thalamus, a central relay of sensory and consciousness information. The inner curl matches the pineal gland, long believed to be the third eye. The curved tail sits directly where the amygdala rests, the center of fear, memory, emotion. The spiral wraps the hypothalamus, which regulates body functions and homeostasis. The pupil, central and dominant, aligns with the pituitary gland, master controller of hormones and growth. These are not vague approximations. They're direct overlays, as if someone, thousands of years ago, understood the inner workings of the human brain and encoded that knowledge into a spiritual symbol. But how? Let's ask the impossible. Could the ancient Egyptians have had access to neuroanatomical knowledge? They didn't practice surgical dissection like the Greeks, and yet their texts and temples suggest deep awareness of the body's energy systems. The Dendera temple ceiling shows zodiac constellations and planetary motion with shocking precision. But inside the same temple, inscriptions describe light emerging from the forehead, illumination through inner awakening. This is not poetic. This is neurological. The pineal gland, tiny, deep in the brain, has long been associated with spiritual perception. It produces melatonin, regulates circadian rhythm, and in altered states may release DMT, a powerful molecule linked to mystical experiences. It is also sensitive to light. Could it be that the Eye of Horus is a coded diagram of activating the pineal gland? Egyptian initiation rites involved darkness, sound vibration, and sacred chanting, all conditions known today to affect brainwave states and pineal stimulation. In other words, ancient brain hacking. And there's more. The eye's fractional breakdown isn't just visual, it's mathematical. The sum of the eye's parts equals 63/64, missing just 1/64th to make a whole. That missing piece? The unknowable, the divine, the spark. Some modern physicists compare it to Planck's constant, the limit of measurable reality. Ancient Egyptians may have been expressing something scientists only now begin to grasp. That consciousness cannot be fully quantified. That reality includes the invisible. Let's return to the myth. Thoth restores the Eye of Horus, not just healing him, but making him whole. That wholeness is key. The journey is about integration of intellect and intuition, logic and emotion, left and right brain, and perhaps matter and spirit. The Eye of Horus, then, is not just a protective symbol. It is an instruction, a path, a diagram, a spiritual technology encoded in sacred art, showing the seeker how to restore their inner eye, how to awaken. Think about it. Why is this symbol found everywhere? On sarcophagi, on temple walls, in protective amulets worn by the living and the dead. It wasn't decoration. It was remembrance, a signal that within you lies the temple, that the gods are not outside you, but within your own consciousness, and that by understanding the map, you could return to the source. Modern neuroscientists now admit that consciousness cannot be fully explained by brain chemistry alone. Something else is involved. Call it soul, call it energy, call it awareness. But the Egyptians had a name for it, Sekhem, vital spiritual power that animated all things. The Eye of Horus may have been a focusing point for Sekhem, a way to concentrate energy, intention, and consciousness into one powerful practice. Some researchers believe the priests of Egypt used the eye as a resonance symbol, charging it through chant, focus, and ritual to open inner sight, what we now call the third eye. So when you see the Eye of Horus again, ask yourself, is it watching you or waiting for you to open? Because maybe it's not a symbol of something outside you. Maybe it's a mirror, a map, and a reminder that the real vision begins within. Subscribe to Notebook of Secrets for episodes yet to come.